Yes, people. What's going on? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to Saeed TV. We are live back again with another video. Agree to disagree, man. Your show on a Friday. You know what I mean? Where we're going to have different opinions and we're going to have to agree to disagree. So big up to everyone who's locked in. Leave a like on the video straight away. That's the first thing you lot should be doing, is leaving a like on the video. That helps the algorithm. And subscribe to the channel, man. We're reaching nearly 92k on the channel, so big up to everyone who's supporting the channel. We've got Dan in the building, repping Chelsea Football Club. How you doing, Dan?
Yeah, all good, man. I'm in a good mood. We've got big games coming up at the weekend. I want to chat about football. I hope all the panelists are good, and I hope everyone in the chat's well as well. Good to be here.
Yeah, man. Big up, big up. We got lead judges battling it out this weekend. You know what I mean? Old rivalries, but not in the similar positions, man. One's a bit higher than the other. Should I say?
Nah, listen, I miss those days. I miss those days when it was like Man United and Arsenal, But unfortunately, when you've been good, we've been bad, and when we've been good, you've been bad. So not quite the same intensity going up there on the weekend, but still a lot to play for.
Yeah, absolutely. And we got Judge Mo, the impartial panelist, who's going to give us his opinions. And yeah, man, how are you, man?
I'm all right. Big up everybody. Make sure to like the video, guys. Let's get to 500 likes right off the bat. And if you're watching this on the replay, you know what to do. Before you go on and enjoy the show, you know what to do. Hit that like button. Looks like thumbs up. If you don't know, if you've been living under the rock for the last 10 years, it looks like thumbs up on YouTube. Hit that like button and then go and enjoy the show.
Absolutely. Dan Potts will be joining us soon as well, man. So make sure you follow his channel as well. But listen, I've got to start with one place, guys, man. I'm going to have a little bit of a rant. Mason Mount, he's injured yet again. Just came back from injury, was on the bench for a bit. And then he started his first game in a while against Crystal Palace. But he's out for the game against Arsenal. He's suffered a new injury, by the way, not the same injury, a new injury, and he won't be available. Luke Shaw has also suffered a setback in his recovery. I swear. You know what's bad about this signing, guys? Yeah, I never wanted him. I know we got Dan here, and he'll speak on it if he did wanted him to leave, but I never wanted him. We spent 55 million on him. Big wages, and he's barely played this season. I don't even know how many games he's actually played altogether. But I'm just like, what is the point? We already got Bruno Fernandes, who's a doubt for the game, and it's just one of them. He could have been a free signing in the summer. We could have got Mason Mount on a free signing. And people will say, oh, but Arsenal would have got him and Liverpool would have got him. Well, if that's the case in life, then it's good. You know what I mean? It's not the end of the world. Mason Mount's not signing that. We're going to lose sleep over. But the fact that he's now injured again, and I was saying to Matisse and so many Chelsea fans, I don't want him. It's just very, very infuriating, man. And it's another injury to the added injury list. And yeah, man, Dan, I want to say you lot have absolutely robbed us, mate. 55 British pounds on Mason Mount. It is crazy, man. Criminal, man. You lot need to get reported for this, man. Investigation needs to be done. Seriously, man.
Oh, look, he's a good player, and I think under the right manager, he's okay. I think the move to Manchester United with all the stresses, all the pressure, a move that didn't really make sense to me in terms of the profile player you were getting with the players you already had as well. I just think it's kind of not really worked out for him. Was it him that wanted to go? Was it a move that was for his brand rather than what he wanted to do as a player? I'm just not sure. There's so many things. I just feel like maybe this is a guy who's been struggling with injury last season at Chelsea, struggling this season now. He just needs to look after himself and see if he can get himself back into playing shape at least and be managed better. We were saying pre-show that maybe he's just played too many minutes too quickly. Why not? Why can't he play 30 minutes here, 30 minutes there till the end of the season just to get minutes under his belt, go into pre-season and be strong? Now he's injured again. It's a setback. Obviously, we don't know how long that injury is going to last, but yeah, not an ideal start for him, is it? His career at Man United, which I can't say I'm unhappy about, but yeah, it's a shame. I never like to see a player struggle with injuries, and a player that on his day can be a fantastic player. There's no doubt about it.
I just, for me, I don't see the great player in it. I really don't, man. And listen, Chelsea, I don't think I see qualities in him to spend 55 million. you know. But then again, people can say that with Havertz. Was Havertz a signing that all Arsenal fans wanted? Probably not. But one thing Havertz has done this year is he's been available. Your best ability as a player is your availability, and we can't even get that from Mason Mount, and that's the concern for me. Is he not another Luke Shaw now? You know what I mean? A guy who's just injury prone. I mean, he had injuries at Chelsea as well. You know, let's not get it right. He had injuries at Chelsea that went under the radar, you know, and then all of a sudden, United decided to go with 1 year left on his contract, you know, see it out. He's still young. He's what, 24, 25. It wasn't a great kind of like loss if you didn't go for him at that stage in the summer, was it? And then he's coming out with this saying, Declan Rice is a very good player. What did he say here? Let me just read you this comment here. He says here, he's a very good player and would obviously fit here at United, but I'm happy with Mason Mount. I mean, seriously, man. Genuinely, this manager is killing me, man. It's honestly, guys, you have to laugh sometimes, man. You have to laugh sometimes.
Has he really said that? That's outrageous.
Yeah, this is what he said.
Oh my gosh.
He
They're
said
not even the same profile of player.
When did he say that?
Press conference today. Press conference. Yeah, it's almost you know what,
bro. This manager speaks out of his ass, bro. I actually say that even when Arteta got the job and he was losing games, you can tell the guy's media trained. One of the things you as to be a coach, and I was speaking to Mohamed Kalon here, if you guys know who that is, that played for Inter, and he's saying that one of the things that they look at in managers is how they speak and how they talk, because you're leading a group of 22 along with your coaching staff. You stand in front of a board to report to, you stand in front of media. You need to know how to motivate your team. You know what I mean? Like, there are a lot of aspects of being a coach. It's not only tactical. I can get someone who studied a lot of tactics in university, you know what I mean? But then they go to the game, they cannot even relay the message to the players. And this guy, bro, every time he opens his mouth, I'm like, this guy is a fool. And I'm sorry to say that. He's a privileged manager to be in this situation. I know he coached the Ajax and all the stuff, and he was the assistant of Pep. Every time he opens his mouth, he sounds like an uneducated person, that someone that is not educated enough to be a coach and talk to people. You know, I'm not saying that you should be able to say complicated words, but this guy sometimes says stuff that don't make sense. How can I get somebody to lead a football club like Manchester United that cannot put a couple of words together that make sense? What do you mean, Mason? You prefer Mason Mount? The guy hasn't played for you all year. He's not fit. Declan Rice is nominated for Player of the Year. What are you comparing here, you idiot? What an absolute shambolic thing to say, bro. And I said that before, bro. This guy is an idiot. An absolute clown, right? I don't care about his tactical awareness, right? You can be the most tactical guy on earth, right? If you cannot relay a message, just a regular message to people, you're just an idiot. How are we expecting this guy to motivate his team? How, if someone speaks like this in the media, what do you think he's saying to the player before they play Manchester City in the cup final, for example? What is he telling them, bro? And I said that people mock Arteta left and right? But from the first time this guy opened his mouth, you knew that this guy is media trained. He knows what to say in front of people. You remember Mourinho knew how to elevate the pressure from his players to take it upon himself. This guy's an idiot, bro. And the problem is, I'm sorry, with all due respect to everyone around, if you're still back in Ten Hag, number one, tactically, he's failing, right? As a leader, he's failing. As a communicator, he's failing. He's failing it. Okay, talent ID, he's failing like miserably, right? Just miserably. How can this guy? I don't understand how the guys, Ashworth or whatever, who's running the club at the current moment, you guys can educate me. How are they still letting this guy talk without a script? You know, some we're not going to get political here. You know, some people, some CEOs and some presidents, they only are allowed to speak from a script. You know that, like just a script. How is this guy allowed to speak from his mind, bro? Every time he opens his mouth, he says things that don't make sense. And it's not only now, when he literally came after a game and said we deserve to win the game because we created it. What are you talking about, man? Everybody sees that you're getting battered every game. We deserve to win the game. What an idiot, bro. He's stupid. He's literally, for me, he went from a bad manager, like rank,
Yeah.
to like you're being an idiot now. Declan Rice to Mason Mount.
I'm tired, man. I swear down, man. It's crazy, you know what I mean? When you look at Lee, yeah, David Moyes, he got sacked for less, and he didn't even get back half of the money he got back, David Moyes only got Fellaini and Juan Mato, and that was in January. And he only got 9 months and he was out the door, man. With Eric Ten Hag, I mean, I don't know if you've seen the game at Crystal Palace, but you must be thinking to yourself, what is this team, man? Like, look at the Arsenal. Which one for you is worse? Arsenal under Arteta when he started, or United of this season?
I was saying that yesterday. Like, as bad as Arsenal were under Arteta at the beginning, they weren't nowhere as bad as this Man United team. This team, honestly, I don't know how Man United fans feel about it, but watching it from afar, it's not a surprise when they get beat 4-0 or 3-0 by. It wasn't a surprise that they got beat by Palace. It wasn't a surprise. It wouldn't be a surprise if Arsenal go up there and win 4 or 5, maybe 6. On the other end, I wouldn't be surprised if they get a draw or it's a 2. You just don't know what you're going to get with them. And with the manager, I'll tell you when I lost respect for him.
Yeah,
as a person, was when he lost to Man United. Lost to Arsenal 3-1, and instead of talking about the game and how unlucky they were, and maybe a different scenario with the VAR, if that goal would have been another inch, they would have won that game. He come out and slagged off Sancho. Oh, he ain't been training and all that, completely diversed all the pressure off of him, or he thought it would, onto a young kid. And I thought that was wrong. You don't do that to a young kid, and for me, that was it for me. I felt to myself, I wouldn't want to be playing for someone like you.
Yes.
Even if I was an experienced player in that dressing room, right, and he done that to a young kid and all that, I'm thinking, you're not for me. You're not for me. And I don't know. I'll be really honest with you. You will know on Sunday afternoon or evening if those players want him about for the cup final and whatever. Because if you down tools in that game and get beat 4 or 5, I believe Manchester United have to press the button. They have to.
Facts. They have to.
They have to. And so it really depends on now. You will know if those players want him or they don't. And my feeling is, I'm thinking to myself, if I was and I'm not saying that I would ever down tool. I never down tools when I played. But what I'm saying is, you lose respect for managers. You can have respect for managers when you go through walls. You don't even realise you're going through walls for a manager because of the way he is. But you know, you don't push yourself to the limit or whatever. I don't know. There's a thing inside you that tells you and I feel that's the case. I just don't see him lasting. But if they put in a good performance and work hard and run around, that the one thing you want as a fan, I don't care if you're not. We've been there with Arsenal, that they're not good enough. You know that they're not good enough to compete at the top levels when we've gone to Chelsea and Man United and Man City and all that. But if you see your players in that shirt not working 100%, not running around dying for the badge, that's the sacred. I watched them against
Palace.
And I'm thinking, really, are you working hard and whatever and everything like that? And as for Mason Mount, I have to say I'm a little bit defensive of him because I think if you hadn't got all the injuries that you had, I don't think they would be rushing him back. I think because of injuries, you've had to rush him back. And, at least he's trying to get himself out there. Realistically, probably come in week too early more than what he should have done. Even with the cup final on the horizon, he still thought, no, I'll go for it. So I don't think you should be slagging him off too much at this moment in time. And there's many a player that have had injuries. Look, we've got our own one in Timber that's not played all season, but it's just one of those things. Injuries can happen, and it's just part and parcel of football. But you know, Sunday will be really interesting to see where Man United go after that game. What they've done. And listen, from an Arsenal fan, I'm just hoping Casemiro is at centre half.
Do you know what this manager did? Do you guys know what this manager did to Man United in this season? He made them an unattractive club. Do you know why Man United aren't linked to the top managers?
You can't.
I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna tell you why.
Mo's cooking today. Go on,
I'm
Mo.
gonna tell you why. This is. I had debates with a lot of people about this. Right? You look at Manchester United now. They have the money, shared sales around the world, in America, Asia, Africa, everywhere. Right? So the revenue is still coming. Right? But as a club, as a project, as a stadium, as a quality of players there, they aren't attractive for a top manager because it can go bad so quickly as it did for Ten Hag. Any top manager, let me just, let's say they go tomorrow, and I'm talking about my manager, Simone Inzaghi doesn't renew the contract with Inter. And they go to Simone Inzaghi and tell him, listen, we're going to triple your salary from Inter. He can say, I'm now on a high. I'm being linked with top jobs. If I go to Manchester United, and it goes bad, and it looks like the club is still in shambles. I know they're hiring people up there, brother. If it goes bad, basically I'll look like a clown. I'll look like a fool to take that job, to leave a job that I'm in. If they go to Zidane, for example, and they take him and it doesn't go well for him, it might be a little bit awkward for him. You know what I mean? He has been away from the game for 3 years. He's going to come back, coach Man United, toxic. I know that we're so hesitantly. I know you're older than us a little bit, right? But I'm an older guy. I'm not young, right? And I lived through Man United dominating and being one of the most attractive clubs around in the world. But that attractiveness only was due to Alex Ferguson and winning trophies being there during my lifetime, right? When I watched the Premier League. Since he left, the club has been going down. And you can actually look at the level of managers they hired. David Moyes was the suggestion from Alex Ferguson, right?
Yeah.
Right? But then Louis van Gaal, then Mourinho, who got after Ole, then Ten Hag. And look at who they're linked to now. McKenna, championship manager. Graham Potter, someone who failed, right? They are linked to a Southgate.
Tuchel as well. Tuchel and
even Tuchel, by the way. Thomas Tuchel, by the way. De Zerbi is good. Thomas Tuchel, the name is there, but Thomas Tuchel isn't a very big name in world football. He isn't.
What?
Right? Yes, he won the Champions League.
I knew you were going to say that.
I know you're a Chelsea fan. You live and die by the sword of Thomas Tuchel, one of the Champions League. We can discuss that for another day.
Final as well. You can't say that.
I'm telling you, bro. I'm telling you, Thomas Tuchel isn't. Okay, let me ask you something. If Real Madrid won't hire Thomas Tuchel, Liverpool won't hire Thomas Tuchel, Man City won't hire Thomas Tuchel, Arsenal won't hire Thomas Tuchel, right? Am I wrong? Barcelona won't hire Thomas Tuchel. Even Barcelona now. My thing about Thomas Tuchel, people think I like Thomas Tuchel as a cup manager. I don't think he's the right guy to build a club. Look where he leaves the club every time he's there. Is it a problem with him personally? Is it a problem with the board? But every time he leaves the club, he doesn't leave it in a good note. By the way, starting from Dortmund when he got sacked, Paris Saint-Germain, same.
And Mainz as well. Doesn't mean he's not a top coach.
I don't think he's a top coach. And I don't want to.
This is the issue, man. Do people say is he top coach? Is he not top coach? Like, I feel like people. I just say he's a good coach, but for what I want and for my needs, I don't want him. Thomas Tuchel. That's it. You know,
he leaves the club if it doesn't work for. Can I just sorry, Said?
Yeah, go.
What is the difference between Thomas Tuchel then and someone like De Zerbi, right? And I know Poch is gonna come in, and I know Poch is gonna jump the gun now and try to do this, right? I know that. But hear me out. When it doesn't go well for Thomas Tuchel, for a club like Man United, it's going to go into shambles. That means players are not going to develop, right? He's going to be toxic, right? If it doesn't work for him. At Chelsea, he won the Champions League. And at the end, he left the club when half the fan base wanted him sacked. I know it's a problem with Stoke.
No, they didn't. No, they didn't.
Oh, Dan. We know when they lost to Dinamo Zagreb, he said it went for shit.
What?
You remember
the
Champions League when you almost got knocked out?
Mo, no way. You can't say that half the fan base wanted him sacked. And what position did he leave us in? He left us in fourth. We ain't touched fourth in years.
By the way, but in years, he was third the year before.
Yeah.
You finished. By the way, you bought the most. The year before, you bought one of the best strikers around in the world.
Roberto De Zerbi to Tuchel. They're not even comparable.
I'm going to tell you the difference for Man United.
A guy that's been to like successive Champions League finals.
I'm going to tell you the difference. When if De Zerbi goes to Man United, let's imagine hypothetical. De Zerbi goes tomorrow to Man United.
Yeah,
he might not win at all, right? But what is going to happen at Man United is that they're going to have a certain style of play and a certain way of recruiting players.
Yeah, Ange has that too.
The under 21 will play the same. The under 17 will play the same football. The under 16 will play the same football. He doesn't win trophies for 2 years. They decided, we'll part ways with you. That last point is what's going to make a difference. 2 years from now, they part ways with De Zerbi. You didn't win us trophies. You didn't get us where we are. Then the next manager will have something to build on. We'll have an under 21. We'll have an under 17 to work with. They'll have a culture at the club. Thomas Tuchel comes in, wing it every game. No style of play, nothing. Wing it every game, right? And then they win an FA Cup. Right? And they get to whatever. They're not playing in the Champions League. But in the league, they finish 6th or 7th, or they finish 4th. But then he gets some problems with players, as he always does. I'm looking at the history, and I'm predicting the future here, right? He leaves the club. Nothing developed at the club. No structure, no culture. Where has he ever done that? He hasn't.
But
he hasn't done that.
In 6 finals.
So what has he done then?
What's De Zerbi done? Like De Zerbi don't control when Manchester United's under 17s play the same.
I'm with you, Dan. 100%.
I think for me, De Zerbi's a better fit than Tuchel for United.
Yes, 100%. Thomas Tuchel runs the club.
Why do we say that he's a better fit?
Because we need a coach. We need a coach. We need a coach.
Why do you need?
No, but it's not about winning anything though. This idea right now at this minute, United. Right now, at this minute, for them right now, we need someone that can fundamentally coach this Man United team. They are the worst coach team in the league. They need the fundamentals right now. We could go win the FA Cup and the Carabao Cup, and then later on, be worse off it. It sounds crazy, but you'd be worse off it because you think you're paper over the cracks, and that's the problem with United. Ten Hag last year, we won the trophy and won the Carabao Cup, we got 3rd, but yet still, we are worse off. Look at the season right now. Look how we are now right now. The worst coach team in the league.
Where you are right now, you're the worst coach team, right? Facts. I get that, right? And I'm confident this weekend, massively confident. I think we can hurt you. I really do, right? But,
yeah, I think so as well.
Yeah, but when it comes to it, I think when you look at the replacement for Man United, we're gonna know everything we need to know about Ashworth, Wilcox, Brado, Ratcliffe. We're gonna know everything we want, because if they go and get somebody like Zidane, Tuchel, Flick, Conte, whatever it be, you can kind of understand that move. If they go and get Southgate, then all of your kind of excitement will just be deflated, right? It'll just be like, well, these guys don't know what they're doing either. So for me, they cannot go and get Gareth. I mean, I want you to get Southgate because I think it would be hilarious, right? But for me, I don't think they will. I think it will be a Thomas Tuchel type manager. I really do. De Zerbi, I don't hate De Zerbi. I don't dislike his style of play. I think it's playing out from the back. It's all good. The guy gets absolutely trounced. He's won 25 games in nearly 70. I don't get that absolute overhype that this guy's going to be fantastic.
Yeah, but then let's look at the other side of it.
It's the players, it's the squad.
Highest finished manager in Brighton's history. He's got them to a Europa League that no manager has got them to, a Europa League. Yeah, even this 12th place finish that they might go and get, is still one of their highest finishes in the league ever. So when you look at the context of where Brighton have been, it's a massive achievement what he's done at Brighton. The level of football, come on. They're only 6 points behind us.
Yeah, but Said, he's held 4 to Luton, 6 to Villa.
But they lost Caicedo and McAllister. You go lose Saka and Odegaard and see where you finish in the league.
Yeah. No, I get the players. I get this. But I look at Gary O'Neill and I look at, what's his name from Bournemouth, Areola. Do you think he's happy with his players?
No.
Look at what they're doing, man.
But they've recruited well, though, to be fair. They've recruited well.
Yeah, no, they have, but the style of players there in those managers as well. I think I'm not saying Gary O'Neill.
They haven't done as well as Brighton, then.
By the way, right?
They've not done as well as Brighton over the last few years.
I'm going to tell you.
They've done better than Brighton this year.
It's also down to
they've only had this year, Lee. They haven't had the previous years. They've only had this year.
All right, then you start taking away their best players as well. Like, don't forget, he every year he has a player taken away from him. I hear what you're saying. But I do think that, you have to look at it and go, he's managing Brighton. and that they're under sort of restraints where you wouldn't be under those restraints at Man United or Arsenal.
So Lee, if I said to you, De Zerbi's at Man United, what's he got to do in his first year then? Where's he got to finish to you to go, God, this bloke's done well?
Top 4.
Yeah, top 4 always. It's got
No
to be top
chance.
4
Top
first
4
season.
with
No
convincing football, and that ain't going to happen with De
Never
Zerbi.
No
gonna
manager is finishing top 4 with this United team. No manager in the world football.
Well, but listen, I'm not really bothered about top 4.
Unless they get Pep Guardiola.
I'm not bothered about top 4 anyway. I don't really
There's
buy
about
into
top 4.
top 4.
Oh, sorry.
Matt,
mate.
depends who
No,
they
I'm
get.
not. But listen,
Come
you know what it is, yeah. This idea of top 4. Give me good football, yeah. Give me good football, and I know where my club is going, rather than getting top 4 by the skin of your teeth, yeah, playing shit football, yeah, and then getting absolutely trounced in the group stages. Give me that over, man. This
Man United's least expectation should be top 4. That's the least that they should be getting.
You're holding them very highly. You're still thinking this is Man United 15 years ago, Lee. This is not Man United 15 years ago. It's
No,
not.
they are the Man United.
I've followed football for a very, very long while. Before the Premier League, before Alex Ferguson, Man United have always been a big draw. They've always been a big draw of club. They've always had big go back into the history of it all. Like, you know, Brian Robson was a big signing when before the Premier League and things like that. They poached players like Frank Stapleton away from Arsenal. They've done it all their time. They're a big club, and yes, you need to have a decent manager. But if you haven't got the players, that's the end of it. Like, you know. Arsenal are only better now. Is Arteta a better manager now? I don't know, but I'll tell you what he is. He's got better players. You know what I mean? He's now he's defending with Saliba and Gabriel instead of Mustafi and Holding. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter how good a manager you are. That will happen. De Zerbi's done really well when he's coming at Brighton, pushed them on and all that. Like, you know, they give Arsenal a footballing lesson on more than one occasion. I'm not saying that he's the best thing like that's since sliced bread.
Pep Guardiola
he deserves a little bit more.
Dan, no coach in the league, rotates his goalkeeper 18 times in the league. No coach. Do you think any sane coach would choose?
I like Arteta have done that. I would have liked Arteta have done that.
Yeah, but you get my point, Dan.
I get what if you want an argument for, I don't know, like what
guys.
Tuchel or De Zerbi, I'm going for Tuchel for Man United.
Yeah,
why?
All day long.
100%.
I'm going there.
The thing is, though, we're looking at it based on trophies here, and not based on the substance, the style, the longevity, the understanding of the game, what we need from Man United. You've got to look at it from the whole point of view, the whole package. Tuchel, for me, I don't think takes you longer than maybe 18 months. With De Zerbi, I think you guys are sleeping on what he's done at Brighton, man. You're looking at the results.
12, Si?
No, but you look at 7th. They finished 7th last season.
Yeah, but how much of that is down to what Graham Potter put in place? And now,
here we go. But that's again, that's disingenuous.
Well, you hear me out, yeah. But there's a reason Graham Potter's saying no to Ajax, because I reckon Jim Ratcliffe's been on the phone, mate. You watch this space.
What's Graham Potter's highest finish for Brighton? Can you let me know?
I'm not sure, and it's not as high as De Zerbi.
Well, there you go then. Well, there you go.
Yeah, but Potter left for Chelsea. But there's a reason Graham Potter's saying no to Ajax, and look, he's going to be
fantastic. That's why Graham Potter finished 10th because of Thomas Tuchel work. Then I can do the same game. No.
Graham
Potter finished 10th in the league because of Thomas Tuchel work.
No, let's be real.
I can do the same game all day.
Man. You know, my thing is,
watch out, then.
Look, hang on, I'll come back to it because you can't do that. I'm going to rip your argument to shreds.
Go on.
Were put under a ban. Their owner was removed. It was a completely different club. Thomas Tuchel was offering to drive a bus to a Champions League final. The next season, a new owner came in, ripped the staff, the heart of the club out, chucked the groundsmen out, the cooks, the caterers, the medical staff, you name it. Every single player that had anything to do with Chelsea, he got rid of them. He's never, ever had any involvement in European sport. He put himself as the sporting director, signed players who he knew off of FIFA or Football Manager as a scouting tool. He had zero clue about what he was doing as a job, and he gave Thomas Tuchel those players. The only player Thomas Tuchel was backed with was Aubameyang.
Koulibaly?
For one game.
Koulibaly?
No, they're not. I guarantee you, they're not Thomas Tuchel signings.
It doesn't. that's the point. Does every manager now? That's the difference between a De Zerbi and a Thomas Tuchel. De Zerbi didn't say, "Well, you're getting rid of McAllister, you're getting rid of this." He still plays the same football. He never said, well, you're getting rid of my goalkeeper, or you're getting rid of this, you're getting rid of that. That's the difference. He plays with what he has.
Mo, I'm not saying Thomas Tuchel is an unbelievable manager here and he's going to go and win Man
He's
United.
a garbage manager in the league. He doesn't have a style of play.
I think you're being harsh. I think to take Chelsea to 4 finals out of 5 that he bloody was basically managed, I think, and to get Bayern Munich. Let's be real. People are saying get rid of him. He's crap at Bayern Munich. They've managed to get to last minute getting dumped out of a semi-final. They're a minute away from getting to a final of another Champions League, another final he can get to. So I think we'd be doing him a disservice to say that he's a garbage manager and has got no style of play, blah, blah, blah. What I will say, if it was me, and I'm not a Man United fan, I wouldn't want to be in the trasher at the moment. If I had Hansi Flick, De Zerbi and Tuchel, De Zerbi would be the last one out of the 3 that I'd want. That's all I'm saying. Because I look at
Di Matteo won the Champions League with Chelsea. Let them get Di Matteo then.
You can't just look at just what people win, because otherwise Di Matteo would be better than Wenger because he won a Champions League and Wenger didn't.
I did content back in the days,
not just what they've won.
I did content back in the days with a lot of Chelsea fans, not Dan, but some of the Chelsea fans, and every time I asked them, what is Thomas? What is Chelsea? What is the aim here for every game? They didn't know. When Thomas Tuchel came to Chelsea, Frank Lampard used to score tons of goals, but he used to concede a lot at that time with Chelsea. What Thomas Tuchel did is I went to 3 in the back, tightened the defense, and had a good plan of scoring some goals, right? But he was always tight in the defense. Chelsea tightened the defense very well under Thomas Tuchel. That's what he did. But in a year time, when he got Lukaku, it didn't work out for him for whatever reason. I didn't see a style of play from Chelsea. And the reason why some Man United team need a style of play, the reason is they want to build a structure. If you ask me tomorrow, if Arteta leaves Arsenal and you ask me to get a manager, I'm not going to tell you get De Zerbi. I'm going to get Thomas Tuchel. Why? Your squad is ready, is mature. If you're telling me for Arsenal tomorrow between Thomas Tuchel
and De Zerbi,
I'm going to tell you Thomas Tuchel. Why? The squad is mature already. Exactly. Squad is mature. Squad is ready to win. This Man United team need to be coached. Needs someone to come in. It will paper over the crack if Thomas Tuchel.
So why is Guardiola, when we hear reports about Omar Berrado looking for the perfect man to take over from Guardiola, why was it De Zerbi's name that mentioned the most? Why?
No idea.
No, there's a reason why. Because the style of football fits in with the philosophy of Guardiola. So therefore, it makes a better sense that the philosophy fits Arteta as well. When you look at it, it's not a Thomas Tuchel style of play with the Arsenal squad. It isn't. Let's be honest. You have to carry on the philosophy. Same way now with
football ain't gonna win you the league.
No, but it's not. But it's also.
But do you think Man United or Tuchel will win the league then?
Well, no.
Well, probably not, no, but they'd have a far better chance than under De Zerbi.
But it doesn't matter the chance. But they won't win it. We can all sit here then and say they won't win it then.
Let's go back to the game, because obviously we digress a little bit. Guys, 1.1k in the building. Please smash a like on the video. Let's get up to 500 likes, guys. It's been a good debate so far. But if like I said to you, Lee, if you don't win and Dan on Sunday, I think it's embarrassing. You know, major questions will be asked of Arsenal if they don't beat Man United. You know, and they I'm not saying you lose the title there, but you kind of almost like it's ended, it's finished, it's collapsed, it's over. Like major questions. I'll start off with you, Dan. Now, major questions if it's us if you lot don't win at Old Trafford against United.
Oh, mate, it's embarrassing, absolute disgrace. In fact, it's an understatement if we don't. This is the worst. Man United.
Sack him now. Sack him.
Here we go. Sack him on the spot.
Sack him on the spot.
Get rid of him.
Lee did the video. Sack him on the spot. Love Lee's video. He was like, I'm tuning in, bro. He's like, sack him on the spot. And I'm like, what?
There's going to be, if we have a crumble again against Manchester United and Everton, I'm telling you now, there will be a lot of people that will just say, let's just get rid and move on. There will be a lot of people that will do that. I don't think that's going to happen, man. I honestly, you know me, Said, you've done content with me a while. You know I'm not
Yeah.
one of the arrogant, cocky fans that says, oh, this is going to be... I honestly do believe this is going to be a 4-0 game to Arsenal. I honestly do not see how Arsenal do not win this game. There you go. Chest is out. It's not normally. And Lee knows it's not normally. But I believe we will make it very easy. I don't think this Manchester United side look up for it. I was listening to you guys when I was trying to get home, and I totally agree with Lee. I think the Ten Hag respect thing is gone. I can't believe he's still there. I know there's some Man United fans that want him. I don't understand what they're watching. I think that there is no excuse for Arsenal to not win this game when you have no centre-back pairing. Your midfield is just put together and mismatched, and you have a front three that, let's be real, doesn't really frighten many people. If Manchester United take anything off of Arsenal, it is nothing but short of a disgrace, in my opinion. So I think this should be a comfortable win for Arsenal. I look at the domination in midfield with Partey, Ødegaard and Rice. I don't see how we lose that battle when you've got Eriksen, Mount and Casemiro. Oh, no, Mount's now out, isn't he, as well? Another one is out. You know what I mean? At the back, they're looking like it's going to be what? Casemiro and someone. We haven't got a clue who. Like, it's going to be, for me, it should be a very comfortable game. If we do not win this game by at least 2 goals, it has been a poor performance. Not that I would care because I want the 3 points, but I really, in back of my mind, I really want to hurt this Man United side. So I want it. It's been a long time, man. We've beat you twice since 2006. I can see 6 1s and 8 2s, and people are saying, "Can you? Can you?" Yeah, this is the best chance we've got of one of those results, and I want to make sure that we win comfortably here, man. So that's where I'm at, bro. I look at your injuries. No excuses for Arsenal, man.
You know, different question, Lee. You know, it kind of isn't in your hands, is it? Really, let's be honest, man, because you're relying on Fulham and Tottenham. You know what I mean? You've just got to go out there, professional job, and, you know what I mean, do your thing, man. That's all you can do, you know what I mean? And, I mean, I don't see the atmosphere being the same as what it was at Liverpool. The Liverpool atmosphere was absolutely madness. Like, it's a rivalry. It's a British. It won't be the same. It'll be a hot summer's day. You know what I mean? Everyone will be, you know what I mean, relaxed, a bit more calm and quiet, obviously. But, yeah, man, it's one of them where you got to do your job, innit? You just got to do your job, really, haven't you?
Exactly that. Like, you know, the disappointment for an Arsenal fan now is, you know, obviously if we don't win the league, it's going to be disappointing. But the way, it's the way now it happens. If we win our next 2 games, that's all we can do, and that's what we got to focus on, and just, you know, hope that something, you know, a miracle happens. Like, you know, I don't see it, if I'll be honest. I think, you know, me and Dan have sort of conceded that that the title is, you know, that Man City are going to win all 3 games. But for me now, we've got to go up to Man United, get the win there, by hook or by crook. I'd love to see us go there and give you a good scene too, but I don't think they're happening. I think that it'd be a tough game, but I think we'll still get through and just win our 2 games and just take it to the last game, because you never know, and that's how it's got to be for us. But, you know, we've got to go up there and do a professional job. I get what Dan's saying, but like, even through our bad times, we did beat teams at home. I always fear if we was at home tomorrow, I would be looking for 5 at least. You know what I mean? But we're not. It's at Old Trafford. It's not great there, and as poor as they were against going into that game against Liverpool, they got something from Liverpool. I think that we're slightly different, because I think that we will. If you give
You're
us
more stronger. Midfield,
yeah, we are. I think
you're a better team than Liverpool.
We are stronger than
I don't care.
I think we're. I had someone come up to me the other week and say to me, "I don't think you realise how good Arsenal are." And he's a neutral, like, you know what I mean. He's a neutral. He coaches another team, and he turned around and said to me, "I don't think you realise how good Arsenal are." And I'll tell you that we was watching the Chelsea game. Sorry, Dan, but we was watching the Chelsea game. It was 1-0 at half time. And he turned around to me, I'm panicking, and he said, "You'll win this 4 or 5. I said, "No, and that's when he said it. He said, "Trust me, you are a very, very good team." So if we're on our game, we can get that result, like in big numbers. Football don't work like that, though, does it? Like, you know. But listen, we didn't play well at Tottenham when we was 3-0 up at half time. So, you know, if we can play well, and do you know what? We're due to go to one of these teams and
hammer.
Yeah. Can I say that? You know, I know we've hammered Chelsea. Sorry again, Dan. But, like, we give them a good, like, seeing to. But over the years, when we've been at our weakest, down the go, we've gone to Chelsea, we got snuffed. We've gone to Man United, we've got stuffed. You know, now that them teams are at their weakness, that's when we got to get them stuff. You know what I mean? Like, which we've done to Chelsea. Haven't done it to Tottenham, which is well, we had the opportunity to. We've now got the opportunity to go and put it on Man United. And listen, I love it if we did. I absolutely love it because there is that rivalry. There's still, you know, there is that rivalry between Manchester United and Arsenal. We're still there. I think that's why me and Dan are like wanting, you know, like because we've been on the end and we've suffered.
8-2. You know your record is bad. You know you've only got 2 wins
awful.
in 17. You know one of them came in. Adebayor, I think Adebayor got the winner.
Yeah.
And then Aubameyang got the penalty. Yeah, you know what I mean. So your record is crazy. It's like our record sometimes at Stamford Bridge back in the day under Fergie. You know we just couldn't win at Stamford Bridge. You know
what's your 11 though, Saeed, on Sunday?
Tomorrow it will be on our
Saeed, Marcel, Mina.
Right?
Yeah, exactly.
This is Mina. You know what I mean? Naji, Rhino. These are the guys, bro. Line up tomorrow, bro.
It'll be Onana. I think it'll be Evans forced again with Casemiro. By the way, Casemiro's not in the Brazil squad now, so we've ruined another player. Casemiro, left back Wan-Bissaka. It'll be late fitness test Bruno, Kobe, and Ericsson, and it'll be the front three. I think Rashford might get back in the team. I doubt it. But Rashford, Garnacho, and Højlund, that'll be the team for you there. So, yeah, listen, man, it's anything.
I have a different angle for this at all. If Man City drop points to Fulham, Man United should roll over.
Well, I don't
without a shadow of a doubt.
I don't give a shit.
Without a shadow of a doubt.
Yeah,
you should.
You're talking to a guy who lives in Manchester and hates the daylight of Man City. Listen,
exactly. If Man City drop points, you should demand your team. Why are Spurs fans all right with their team rolling over to City so to prevent Arsenal, and you are all right with them doing a four-peat?
Because Spurs aren't a big club. They don't understand what it is to win.
Big up, man.
Bro,
it's simple as that. Like, Spurs just don't get it. Spurs fans are delusional. They don't understand.
I get it.
They've never experienced what that feels like. They just know what it's like to be an inferior team in the city that they're from. So it's okay if a team in their city is winning games.
Yeah, but that's my point. Man United fans should demand this then. That's my point. Yeah. Man United should roll over to Arsenal if Man City drop points.
Because Manchester United don't like Arsenal. They don't like City. Manchester United don't.
Listen, who said that, man?
United don't want to be losing.
Listen, I don't give a shit, man. We just lost to Crystal Palace, yeah. If it means Man City don't win the league, man, I couldn't give a shit, yeah.
Exactly.
I couldn't give a shit. You know what I mean? Man just literally lost to Crystal Palace. And you think I give a shit about this Arsenal game? Bro, see, I don't care, man. Man City is project. Man City don't win the league. You know what I mean?
Thank you. That's exactly what I'm saying.
One of the biggest footballing institutions in the world.
Bro, listen, I hate Man City more. I hate Man City more.
You can hate Man City and you can hate Arsenal. You should be livid at the fact that you're not talking about Manchester United competing for a Premier League title because that's where Manchester United belong. Yeah, all right, it hasn't happened since 2013, but Manchester United as a club have let their standards drop so much that you're talking that you'll be okay with a mid-table manager like De Zerbi coming in and maintaining a Europa League.
No. See, now you're twisting it, bro. Listen, yeah.
Is that not what you're saying?
We're saying that we need a rebuild, yeah. We need a proper coach coming in. But right now, in the short term, I do not care for me what happens on Sunday. I swear down. The season is done. We're not getting top four. We're not getting Champions League football. The best we can hope for is probably Europa League. The season is done. It's getting ready, getting up for a game like Arsenal at the end of the season, for me, is honestly it's no point. You couldn't get up for Crystal Palace. You couldn't get up for Burnley. You couldn't get up for Nottingham Forest. You couldn't get up for all of these games, but you want to get up for this game. Come on, man. Come on.
I think this is the first time in all these years, and we're talking a lot of years here, that Manchester United are scared of the Arsenal team that is coming to them. And I think that is roles reversed.
Why wouldn't we? Why wouldn't we? They're one of the best teams in the league.
Arsenal have put together the squad and a squad in the mould of what like a Manchester United team used to be, a Chelsea team used to be, the City now. That they're a scary team to play against. Yes. You don't want to be playing against Arsenal. And I feel like the inferior mentality this Manchester United squad currently have, especially with their manager as Ten Hag, They're going to be worried. He's going to be worried about what could happen, the injuries you've got and everything. But the fact you're saying your season's done, you're still fighting for Europa League. Look, the chances are Ten Hag's gone in the summer wherever he finishes. You need the manager coming in to have some sort of European football to be able to attract players.
I swear down. Listen, we've attracted Paul Pogba with Europa League. We've attracted Zlatan Ibrahimovic without Champions League football.
So what if you get Conference League?
Bro, Conference League, then it is what it is. I don't honestly. I think
I hope you're playing that Conference League. That'd be funny.
The main aim for United this summer is to get rid of players. I think for me, I'm not even concentrating about bringing players in. It's about getting rid of 80% of this squad. Get rid of Mount. Get rid of all of these players that are just deadwood, man. Get rid of them. Yeah, all of them. Get rid of 80%. Then we can start buying players. There's no point for me buying players if you haven't got rid of 80% of the squad. So this summer, I want 80% of the squad gone, and then we can move forward. So it is what it is, man. But listen, nearly 1.3K in the building. We're gonna read some super chats here. Saeed, you need to do a watch along for the game. Nah, I won't be, man. I'll be at the game. Dan and Lee, are you at the game, Dan and Lee?
Oh, I am.
I'm doing
Lee,
a
I'll
watch
see
along.
you there. Oh, you doing a watch along? Okay, then there you go. And Masood said the fetish with De Zerbi among United fans is a disgrace. I really hope we get him so I can laugh when they're asking him to be sacked a year later. Cool.
Masoud, I hope that you stay with Ten Hag.
Yeah, exactly. Robert says, Mo, is the three at the back wing backs bombing forward, driving in the box, not a style of play? CFC was top in chance creation under Thomas Tuchel, had poor finishes up top. Same with Van Gaal, to be honest with you. We had unbelievable play, and then after that, just didn't have any finishes in the team, man. So, yeah, listen. But we're going to speak on Chelsea in a minute. Guys, make sure you like the video. Dan, what's going on with Pochettino? Because it feels like apparently he's looking like he might be leaving, man. There were some cryptic comments coming out, that he's suggesting that he could be leaving. But I think for me, he's staying, man. I think for me, he's staying. He deserves to stay one more year for me. I think you Chelsea fans have been a bit too harsh on him, this summer. He's going to get you to Europa League possibly. And you know what? It's a project, man. Just a process. And things take time. What do you think to that?
I'm not sure. I don't know. Look, he's had not the best help from the board. They've signed a lot of players. It's an incredibly tough job to gel that team together. And I think that's tough for any manager, no matter how good they are. I think Pochettino's made a lot of mistakes this season. I think people are looking at the last 2.5 games. Look, it was only a couple of weeks ago we had our worst and most embarrassing Premier League defeat ever to Arsenal to show how far away we are from our rivals. I think he's motivated to do well against Tottenham this season. But look, he's got to finish this season strongly and he has to get us Europe. Otherwise, I don't think he'll stay in the job. He's come out today saying that sometimes it has to be the other way around. What if I'm not happy here? And I don't blame him. I don't think the sporting directors have given him the best selection of players in terms of what he's been given him. They've given him a lot of kids. They haven't given him experience. They haven't given him what he asked for. And that makes it tough for a manager. He's got a hard job on himself, a hard job to do. But the issue is for me is that he's made so many mistakes and he hasn't learned from them. It's only now 36 games in, 35 games into the season, it's finally clicked. Why is it taking that long? Glasner come into Palace and identified it within a week, 2 weeks, and they're now 4 games unbeaten. Like a top manager doesn't need 30 games to identify where a player should and shouldn't play, the tactics as a team's best suited to. And I think Pochettino's almost lucked out in a way. I don't want to take too much away from him, but he wouldn't have ever put that team together had players not got injured. It's the only because we've got 14 players out injured that he's suddenly gone, this is my only option. Otherwise, it's teenagers who haven't played Premier League minutes. So I've got to play this team. And then ultimately, that team's ended up getting him a couple of results and kept us in this race for Europe, which is on evidence of most of the season. I can't believe we're still saying that. I think it's just other teams fighting around that area as well, just dropping points. United, Tottenham, even Villa are dropping points. They dropped points to Brighton the other day. Like, if Chelsea had a decent manager, there's absolutely no reason for me on the mistakes that have been made against Brentford, Sheffield United, Burnley, just to name a few, Forest early on in the season when we lost. We could have gone for Champions League football with this squad, and I genuinely think that could have happened. So I'm not sure. I'm trying to maintain my standards.
Chelsea, I think this Chelsea side, though, Dan, like some of the fans overhype it. Like I've been on shared some content with Chelsea content creators who have been very brutally honest about this Chelsea side, in my opinion. Some of them, though, have been like, "Oh, this guy's quality. That we should be doing so much better than this." Now, I actually think Poch has always been a little bit overhyped and overrated. I think what he did at Tottenham was really good, but let's be real, what did he actually achieve at the end? Nada. So I was surprised you went for him, particularly with the Tottenham link as well. I've seen this guy do some weird things, playing Colwell out of position, Gallagher out of position, Ben Chilwell left wing. I've seen some really odd things, right? So you can probably excuse that for some of the injuries you've had, but I don't really see that he's massively improved many of the players. I can give you Palmer and Gusto, and then I'm struggling who I'd take at Arsenal. Like, I'm the real talk. I don't really think Jackson's good enough in front of goal, although his stats aren't terrible. I don't think he's good in front of goal. I think he could do be a lot more clinical, but still young and raw, I suppose. In midfield, I don't really see any creativity. I just see Enzo. I don't know what he is. Caicedo has nowhere near carried this form from Brighton over. And I think defensively, that Badiashile guy has been really poor. I think Thiago Silva to be your best centre-half at 40 is a problem when you spent loads of money. So, I don't know, man. I don't really look at Chelsea at the moment. And maybe it's because I'm used to seeing Chelsea fans want Drogba's and Zola's and Jimmy Floyd Hasselbanks and Diego Costas. And now you've got Jackson. And then wide men like Hazard and Robben have turned into Mudryk and Sterling. Do you know what I'm saying? So I kind of look at it and I think, where is this going? I understand it's a different Chelsea, but I honestly don't believe this Chelsea side is anywhere near top 4 level. I really don't. I just don't.
Have to drop,
I think
guys.
when you compare
Apologies.
it, I think when you compare
big up.
big up, Mo. I think when you compare it to the squad that Aston Villa have, and the fact that they're going to get top 4, I think that, and the fact that Tottenham could have had top 4 had Ange not been found out with the players that they've got, this Chelsea squad isn't a million miles off theirs. And ultimately, I think it could get top 4. I think that's probably suggests that the 4th place in the Premier League isn't what it once was. I hear you in terms of the signing. I think Sterling fitted the profile of the type of player Chelsea used to go for, but ultimately in the Chelsea shirt hasn't produced. When you signed him from Manchester City, we're talking about one of the best left wingers in the league. We're now talking about a guy who cannot get in the team over Mudryk. So, look, there's issues there in terms of the profile player that we've got, but ultimately I think there's games there where the players, whether they're good enough or not, as a team, have been there to potentially put in a performance, and at halftime something's gone wrong with Pochettino and what he said, and we've dropped so many points from halftime. There's obviously a miss here. I think you're bang on with Pochettino. I don't think he ever fitted the bill to be Chelsea's manager. And I think a lot of money's been spent on a lot of questionable players. I'd say he's improved Cucurella as well, to add to your list. I think he's probably improved Jackson. Whether or not Jackson is good enough anyway, I think he's improved him from what he was when he first came. I think his finishing now is arguably better than how he started the season. I think his man management is appreciated by the players, but I'm just not sure it's the best fit for Chelsea. I think in time, you will see...
You know what? Chelsea's going to cook next season, though, you know, man. When you actually
with or without Poch,
because I think with Poch as well, because I look at the players going to come back. Lavia, you got the centre back, you know, that's still going to come round again. One more year maturing. You got Enzo, maybe a better refined Enzo Fernandez. I think for me, Chelsea are the one to watch out for next season. You know, and Nkunku coming back. I really do. The basis is there. It's just, like I said to you, few things clicking. You got talented players, man. Got Cole Palmer in there. I think maybe if you buy a striker, I think you've got more of a solid kind of base for me than, let's say, United. You know what I mean? Because I just don't know what we've got in our team. You know, we've got a lack of quality in our team. Whereas you guys, I generally think that there's a bit around it for me that you can work with. Do you know what I'm trying to say to you? So that's where I'm at right now with your team. Do you know what I'm trying to say? So I don't know. Lee Judge, what do you think to that in terms of like next season, Chelsea being, you know, what, maybe a force? I don't know. Maybe somewhere they can.
I just got a drop, man. Sorry.
Yeah, no worries, man. Big up, Dan. Big up, Dan.
Love. In a bit, was.
I'm going to be really honest. I'll be absolutely mad if Chelsea get rid of Pochettino. I think they'd be mad. I think he's starting to show what he can do. I think he's done really, really well at Tottenham. I think with better players that he's going to get at Chelsea, I think if they back him a little bit more. He never got the backing he got at Tottenham. And if he did, I think Tottenham would have gone on. Thank God he didn't get the backing. I think he's a really, really good manager. In all my life, Arsenal, Spurs, he's produced the best Spurs teams that I've seen. When I mean, I remember the Hoddle Ardiles era, but they never really challenged for title like Tottenham did. Tottenham challenged for a title, European Champions League final.
Mm.
I really should hate the man. I hope he gets sacked at every opportunity. But there was a grudging admiration for him, and also I don't think it's easy to manage Chelsea at this moment in time when you go in there. I think that Frank Lampard, legend at Chelsea, went in there and he said it was a nightmare. He's come out and said it was a nightmare. He had to leave 10 players out of the dressing room. And off the training kit, saying, "Oh, you're not training this way." It must have been that must have been tough, and I think that Pochettino's had to inherit a little bit of that as well with the players that he's got. Sometimes you can have too many players. I know that sounds stupid, but too many players. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
No, Chelsea absolutely have that problem.
Yeah, and I think that they've got that, and what he's done maybe because of the injuries, he's limited it down a little bit, and
it's almost simplified it for him. With the
you imagine if you've got like 3 players and 2 are injured, you ain't got to actually tell them then, oh no, you've got to go and train with the reserves, or you're not in the squad that I'm doing. So I think it makes it a little bit easier, a little bit tough, and I think that what I've seen from the outside is that the players seem to really like him. I don't see any of this arguing and everything like that. He seems to be there, and when they lost to Arsenal, sorry, I'll keep mentioning that, Dan. I apologise, you know what I mean? But once he lost that game, look at the response since. Come back and done it well.
I do hear you with that.
There's a certain things, and I think that, and I never feel sorry for Chelsea fans, but they've had it so good. Now all of a sudden, you know what I mean? Instead of the steak, they're getting a pie. You know what I mean? But a pie ain't that bad. I enjoy a pie. You know what I mean? Every now and then, they've got to realise that it's a little bit different now. And I get it. When your owner's saying, right, you can have the best players, your pick, you have the best centre forward, the best centre half, the best midfield player, and you don't deliver, you're going to get the sack. But I don't think that is the same. It's a different sort of mentality now, And listen, we've had to go through that with Arsenal, where we was expecting to win leagues and all that. And if you think about it, Arsene Wenger was still at the club, so that made it a little bit easier. He brainwashed us into thinking that the top 4 is okay.
Yeah, I know.
Do you know what I mean?
What was a trophy? Yeah.
Yeah, and he done it very cleverly. These guys can't do that because they've got he's only just come in and he hasn't got that sort of leeway. So I think it'd be mad if they do get rid of him. And then who would you go back to? That's the other thing. I hate when people, I'm the same when they say about that, or who is out there to go out there. I don't think there's what the profile that Chelsea want ain't really out there that much. You know what I mean? That would be what I would be saying. And I think that Chelsea, if you have a look at it, Jackson, I think, is going to be a very, very good player. Caicedo's getting better. You know what I mean?
Reece James should come back as well. Reece James
had a few little injuries to a few players. But what they've got to do is they've got to, in the summer, is recruit properly. And that is a proper goalkeeper. That could be like Ramsdale could be coming in, somebody like that. Another decent central defender. Obviously, Silva's going and all that there now. That might be a little bit hard to manage and all, because you know that he's not quite as he was, but he's still a big figure. And so now you haven't got that problem no more. Getting a young central defender, bringing a couple of younger players and all that. And I think Chelsea will be half decent. They're not far off of it now. They've picked up a lot better. Listen, I'll be really honest, Dan, you probably agree with this. I don't think if Pochettino hadn't had this run of games what he's had, I think he may have been under a little bit of pressure. But I think that I don't know what the fans are thinking, but I think if I was on the ball, I'd be going, do you know what? He's starting to turn it around now. Do we push it, do it or not? That's what I would say.
I think I think you bang on. I think he's definitely starting to get some fans swinging their opinion who have been so heavily Poch out all season.
Yeah.
He's finally given Chelsea fans and Chelsea's squad and audience evidence that he's finally found something that works. He's done a couple of tactical changes. And the last couple of games, like you said, the response from losing to Arsenal, which, by the way, is only one loss in the last 14 games for Chelsea.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a really good response that I think earlier on in the season, we would have gone on a bit of a streak of losing games and not recovering from that. So I think that suggests to me that he's gone about it in the right way. He's gone about some games against bigger sides in the right way as well. We gave you a really good game at home at Stamford Bridge earlier on in the season. We've given Tottenham a good game. Man City, we've given a couple of good games. United as well, we turned up for a small amount of that game and managed to get a win. So I think there's things there that are positives to take, but the mistakes have been really bad. And when they've been bad, they've been embarrassingly bad. And maybe that's what happens with a young squad. It's not an easy place to be. And you bang on about having too many players and the injuries. Like, I think that's actually made it more of a hindrance to him. If you had 11 players or 15 players, that stayed fit all season long, it's a simpler job than having 25 trying to decide who to play, who not to play.
100%.
And by the way, we haven't had European football for him to go, oh, you know what, you're not going to play Saturday, but I'll play you Wednesday. We haven't had that. And with a squad as big as what Todd Bowley's tried to put together, it's caused more problems. I think we've signed 7 right wingers since he took over.
And you got another one coming. Is Stavio, is it? Stavio.
Well, Bayern might hijack it. But either way, he's attempting to sign him.
Way down.
Yeah, there's talks. But look, it's a bit of a mess. And I think there's positives there. But ultimately, I'm only going to take the positives if we finish this season unbeaten and achieve the best possible finish we can do in terms of Europa League. I think that is.
And you're right, Dan, because going back to the Arsenal game at Stamford Bridge, you outplayed us that day and 2-0 up, and then he took off his attacking players and let us back in. And that was a thing I remember a couple of Chelsea fans that I know saying, look, that ain't right. That
was Spursy. That was bottling.
Yeah, he's made a few little mistakes along that, but he hasn't done that since. I thought when you played Spurs at home this time around, won it comfortably, see it out well. Very, very unlucky at Manchester City, when it was 1-1.
But that ultimately, though, Lee, that came down to he actually took off a couple of attacking players in that game at City. I was up there. I was livid. He took off a couple of players and brought on Chalobah, who hadn't played for 7 months.
I don't know why managers do it. Tuchel done it in the way. You're getting success and then you change it around. Like all managers seem to do it. But I think that when you're at a club like Chelsea, because of what's going, I think that the problem that he's had, maybe that he didn't at Tottenham, is you've got to be on the front foot all the time at Chelsea. There's got to be like positive. You've got to go for it and everything like that. So I think that he's probably learnt a lot this year, more than what he would have done previous at his other job. So look, listen, nothing surprises you in football, does it? If they were to get rid of him or whatever, But I think that, I would hold off at least till Christmas anyway. See what happens next season. And signings. Yeah, I don't know our maybe a little bit different with Chelsea and all that, but like I feel also if you're a player and you've got a choice. You're going to, in that sort of thing, you're going to go Man United, you've got Arsenal, you've got Chelsea to go. If you keep changing and chopping the managers around all the time, as a player, I'm going to be thinking, well, I don't know, I might be with this manager, I might be out of team in a month. Like, I think you want stability as a player as well. So, like, there's going to be a lot of clubs vying for, like the top, like the Champions League sort of players, Tottenham, Chelsea, Arsenal, Aston Villa, I think Newcastle, all going to be vying for the same sort of players. Manchester United, you really want someone there. Just, do you know what? Hold on a minute. They've sort of backed that manager, So I don't know. I think that could come into play as well. Like, I look at what Declan Rice said. Declan Rice wouldn't have signed for Arsenal 2 years ago. But now with all what's gone on and all that, like, he said, "Oh, I can
more ambition, more ambition."
I can see the plan. I can see where it's going. It might not win us the title, but I can get on board. I can get on that bus. So I think that's important as well. Like, so it's a really important decision what Chelsea do, and in the next sort of couple of months.
Yeah, absolutely. Listen, we're going to wrap it up here. It's been a good show, man. Big up to everyone who's locked in. Make sure you like the video. It will be massively helpful. I think we'll just touch 500 likes, I think, people. Let me just check right now. Yeah, 502. Amazing. Top work, people. I'll be back later on 9:30, people. We'll have a massive debate show tonight with the United crew. So make sure you head over there later on, 9:30 on the channel. Dan, big up to you for coming on, man.
Yeah, appreciate you having me on as always, Si. It's been a pleasure. And hopefully Chelsea can do the business towards the end of the season, and Arsenal can turn you over as well to get us Europa League.
There you go. There you go. Lead judges, big up to you, man, for coming on. Hopefully we'll see each other on Sunday.
Not yet. See you Sunday, make sure.
Yeah, definitely, man. Big up to everyone who's locked in. Smash a like button on the video. Subscribe to the channel, guys. Make sure you do that. And I'll see you later on. Head over to Dan Potts. We're going to raid his channel. So make sure you go over the Football's 12 Man podcast. We're out. Peace.